Hello, I'm Notes, and Neal Morse is back. Or rather, did he even leave? I was a little hesitant when I found out that he was going to put out a new solo record so soon. Why he put out Momentum in 2012, which was a little bit of a letdown for me. And seeing as he's put out more albums than just a few since then, and each one being just a little bit of a letdown, I was concerned about this solo project. Although, this is a Neal Morse band album and not just a straight up Neal Morse solo album. Either way, we have a new album from the man who never sits down, and this time it's The Grand Experiment. First up, before we even get going, I need to thank you, Neal. And this isn't about the music that's on the album, this isn't even about the writing of the album, this is about the structure of the album. The runtime is much more digestible. Those past albums you kept putting out was just a little bit gluttonous at times. I'm all for more music, but I do love a good structure, a good start, a good middle, and a good end. I also must say, I do love the fact that a lot of the religious stuff that Neal loves to delve into is kind of left at the door. There's not quite as much going on here. That said, it's still in here, it's just not beating you over the head with every line they deliver. Okay, so enough with that. Now on to the actual music found on here. It's typical Morse. If you've heard anything from the man before, you pretty much know what you're getting yourself into at this point. There's nothing extravagantly new or changed. There is one slight distinguishing feature on this album that wasn't seen in his past works. Morse doesn't actually do all of the lead singing on this album. In fact, a lot of the singing credit on this album is due to a newcomer, Eric Gillette, and the kid's got some chops. He's the perfect range to harmonize with Morse, which is great, as there's a lot more emphasis and a lot more attention played to harmonization on this record. Along with Eric, we have the usual suspects whenever you're dealing with a Morse album. We've got Mike Portnoy on drums, who is supplying the heart. We've got Randy George, again, on bass, and Bill Hoover on additional instruments. So as to the actual music onto this album, nothing is terrible. Because of the shorter runtime of the overall album, I can thoroughly enjoy the full thing in one sitting. Each song on this album has their own identity, and this time around I can actually pick out these songs in the lineup after I've heard it. They stick with me, they're catchy. I can hum along to a lot of these songs after I've listened to them. And a lot of these songs, because of that, are much more radio friendly than a lot of his other stuff that he's put out. And that being said, we still have that staple 26-minute epic that Morse is all about. So let's look deeper in this album. Since there's only about 5 tracks on this album, we can actually look at them individually this time around. So first up, The Call. It's a fun prog piece, it builds up, great hooks, great song, nothing really new here. Then we get to the title track, The Grand Experiment. This one is one of those pop, power, proggy, fun songs, kind of akin to Black as the Sky from Transatlantic, or Weathering Sky from Momentum. You know, Neal's use of images and symbols on here are kind of limited when you think about it. And I really gotta say, the next song, the third song, as much as I love Waterfall, it's just an entangled clone from Genesis. The more I listen to the song, the more I think, yeah, Entangled was a good song, Neal. You're right, thanks for bringing that up. And then we come to Agenda, another fun pop radio friendly proggy song that almost reminds me of All on a Sunday from Neal's work with Spock's Beard. I know the two songs sound very different, but for me it just sounds similar. I don't know what it is. And then, let's take a moment, let's take a deep breath, let's exhale. Okay, are we ready? Let's go to Alive Again, the epic. It's pretty good. But it's also nothing new. If you know Morse's epics by now, you know what you're getting yourself into. I will admit, I enjoy this a lot more than I did his past couple of really big epics. You know, it goes through those usual twists and turns, it hits all the highs and the lows that we've already come to expect with this kind of a song. I love that build up right near that 20-minute mark where the song's broken down and it starts to build itself back up again. This part is the highlight on the album. That theme is introduced at the beginning section of this movement and it is starting to repeat over and over and over again. And then we get to those keyboards over top and it's just so good. When Alive Again came on and it came to this conclusion, I was sweating a bit. I was just like, okay man, stop here. Don't drag this guy out to that 30-minute track that I know you love. Close it here and end it. And he did. So props to you, man. So, all of this being said, the music on this album is still nothing new. The music being played is outstanding by all present. If you're coming into this album expecting something new, haven't we already learned by now that's not what we're going to get? Morse has found what works for him, and what he loves to do, and what the fans love to hear. If you're a fan, you've already picked this guy up, and you've already given it a listen. If you're new to Morse's material, it's a nice introduction. And you'll love the songs a lot more, because everything's going to be fresh for you, everything's going to be new. And of course, if you have picked it up, which if you're a fan you have, what did you guys think? What do you think of this new kid, Eric? And something new, some homework for you guys. With the cover of MacArthur's Park on this album, I want to know what your favorite cover that Morse has put out. He's done a lot. My personal favorite might be MacArthur's Park, but I would also put For Shine On You Crazy Diamonds that he did for Transatlantic's second live album. So get to those comments and put them below, because I want to read them. So I'm going to leave you guys with the best part about this album. There's no Morse acoustic ballad. Yes! Notes out!